This is the sound. This is how it sounds when synapses are connected by electricity and electrodes. Welcome to the news. Diversify your wavelengths. Diversify your wavelengths. Diversify your wavelengths. So in this time around, what we want to try to do is acknowledge that there are minimum decision and choices available for items to watch on television across the whole entire world. Everything from the perspective of old school television is a little bit less than diversified. So what we want to attempt to do is acknowledge what we've got on our past media distributions. If it's possible to try to acknowledge what has been going on in the past, that is something that I think that is something we are able to acknowledge as something that is possible to start to change. That is one of the responsibilities taken on internally by our so-called organizational process, which entails trying to fundamentally change the nature of games, change the nature of interesting items that are media content, and the nature of love across the whole world. And that starts with the fundamental focuses on what our media content revolves around. And we're taking it back to the old school versions of television so that it is possible to identify with where our roots and our foundational attention has been going, and where it is continuing to go based upon that base root foundation. And if we have the inclination, which we hopefully can start to dig into by acknowledging our choices to consume differing media, which has the ability to produce and also sprout and root differing sorts of change, that we are able to cause one piece at a time. And in this instance, what we want to try to do is fundamentally acknowledge how to go about changing the roots in the fabric of our global culturization, and how to shift from one side to the next in terms of dinky tech and change for game studios in terms of their mission, our mission as a company, as a brand organization, every single day to try to change the nature of games and the nature of love, at the same time to be able to try to change the whole entire world by considering how games for change can start to influence our whole entire planet by starting with our media fabric. So what I mean is that instead of our old school television, instead of the old ways, because every single country had different styles of television, and they were all a little bit different, and they were all characterized by different styles, but in essence it was always difficult, and it always has been difficult, and it still is pretty much difficult to be able to watch TV in every single country. There are silly licensing agreements that prevent people to be able to be experiencing other people's cultures across other people's borders. It's very strange how licensing processes influence a whole lot of gatekeeping from media cultures being shared across one place to another in terms of the whole world being able to share in each other's cultures. So fundamentally, if we're able to just change the fabric of how we're able to change what our media is composed of, and what we want to do is start to focus on philanthropy energy and focus on games for change by making content ourselves, by being diligent ourselves, by being vigilant ourselves, by changing what we do with ourselves in terms of media makers, so we can all change the nature of content into giving content, so that from now on we all are makers of philanthropy type of content, and every single person takes the element of agency to start to develop content that revolves around giving to people in the world. So that everybody now has the agency to be able to go outside and start their own brand in the nature of love and the nature of Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios, the brand. Oh, the brand process where everybody has the ability to leverage this agency to be able to go outside and start giving to the world in their free time. That is because you can't just change the world in one night necessarily unless everybody in the whole world agrees upon that. But in this instance, we're trying to leverage the idea that not everybody's agreed in the meantime in this exact order of operations to be able to develop all this change just by tomorrow, even though it could happen, but it's pretty darn hard. So in this instance, what we're trying to do is use everybody's free time to be able to leverage the nature of games and giving games as a new global trend, in essence, to start to give for games as a sport. Oh, and start to film it as a sport. Oh, and start to make this as video games, the new type of video games in the world as a sport. Oh, and also change the nature and the fabric of the film industry at the same time as a sport. Yes. So in the nature of this context, trying to go forward and actually apply this change, what we need to do is also leverage what we are trying to to develop in terms of the fabric, in terms of boundaries, in terms of the methodology for the framework of this mindset, whereas in essence we're talking about this whole process of energy being passed around the whole world just like a soccer ball. And over the last few days I've been talking about the soccer ball being like an example and a foundational energy that has to do with going out on the streets and activating people and activating the world and activating people's minds and their eyes and their mindsets more or less directly once they see the soccer ball on the street, because it's a global symbol of games. It is the best and most significant global symbol of games. The soccer ball is that for now. And so we want to leverage this mindset by developing a mental soccer ball, more or less a mental soccer ball, so that everybody in the world can catch this energy fundamentally from this podcast. In the meantime, leveraging this podcast, which is called Today. What's it called again? It's called, I forget the name of it. That's a little embarrassing. What is the name of it? It's called Diversify Your Wavelengths. Yeah. Diversify your wavelengths. Diversify your wavelengths. So in the meantime, we want to diversify our wavelengths so that in essence, we have that ability to leverage that ability to just like passing the soccer ball around, digitally pass around a soccer ball around the world. In essence, that is our framework for developing this type of global game scenario where we're trying to start the games as soon as possible to happen, and we're developing this process to be able to kick the soccer ball around the world to each other, all around the world, to be able to pass the soccer ball all around the world to one another, country to country, person to person, entity to entity, group to group, circle to circle, mindset to mindset. Oh, starting to change the nature and the frame of mentality and the way we are all connected to each other on a day-to-day conceptual basis by developing this new framework for socialization and social media sharing and social media production, by also leveraging what I had mentioned in the past couple of days and couple of episodes in the last few weeks and few episodes going back a few weeks, which is our miniature recumbent bicycle, which is also known as the spreadboard skateboard, the spreadboard skate, the hovercraft skateboard. It's been changing over the weeks and the months and time. And that's okay, because it's necessary, because at the same time we're trying to leverage that vehicle to be able to develop it now basically into a filming vehicle. It's a filming vehicle. It is a filming vehicle. It is meant to be a filming vehicle to be able to go outside and change for games and develop this game of change by developing a global game reference and network where everybody in the world is able to go out and run around with our recumbent bicycle, our miniature recumbent bicycle. Even though it's not necessarily a bicycle, it's a miniature powered vehicle, and at the same time it's low to the ground, it's nice, it's sleek, it's fun, it's interesting, it's cool, it should be fun to drive, and it's supposed to be fetching and eye-catching once we get it out there a little bit more so. In the same time, it is becoming today a filming vehicle. It's a filming vehicle to correspond and correlate to the video games which correspond to the global games, the globalization games, the globalization games that has to do with spreading giving, yeah, going out and spreading giving and filming it at the same time, catching video in IRL in real life. And there's the correlation between documentation and evolution, and this is meant to be able to happen at the same time by fundamentally leveraging entrepreneurship at the same time, by everybody being able to leverage entrepreneurship at the same time, by being able to leverage their free time at the same time and be able to go outside and increase their wellness and the awareness of their personal brands by doing giving work. In essence, it's like volunteering work, but it's at the same time, it's like filming it at the same time. And it's the intention to be able to leverage vehicles, all the vehicles that everybody has, in essence, to be able to get them to go in motion, but to also attach cameras to themselves when they go outside and they go and produce giving in real life, giving, rapid giving that is filmed. This is the video games, and Digitech and Change for Game Studios to be able to cover the world in giving videos, giving philanthropy energy, giving philanthropy, going out and giving, and filming it. This is the video games of video games in Digitech and Change for Game Studios, and our recumbent bicycle known as the spreadboard skateboard, the spreadboard skate. The spreadboard recumbent bicycle, which is also like an alpine slide sitting structure. You're sitting in an alpine slide in essence, but it's a recumbent bicycle. More or less, it's miniature. It's cool. It's called the spreadboard skate. It's called the spreadboard, more or less, just the spreadboard. At the same time, it's just the spreadboard. Yeah, that's the fundamental name. And it's a film vehicle. Today, it's a film vehicle. It has become and evolved all the way through all these episodes, and today it has become and evolved into a filming vehicle, because today, in essence, it needs to be present as the vehicle. Everybody has their own vehicles, but it's meant to be able to serve as our functional vehicle, to be able to serve as the primary symbol for everybody to go out and start to film in our video games global sport. In essence, this is our global sport, an introduction to our global sport, a global sport introduced in today's episode, so that everybody has the ability to go out and start to play this global sport, which is global giving, and it's documenting global giving, and it's documenting and evolving and documenting and evolving at the same time. Which one came first? Nobody knows. But at the same time, they both cause the same thing. And it's also meant for entrepreneurs to move into themselves as entrepreneurs and as entrepreneur people, because as people use their free time to be able to go outside and start giving to the world, that is a reflection of who they are as entrepreneurs in essence, and they're leveraging out of anything that they could choose, the thing that they would choose to give philanthropy energy to. They're giving philanthropy energy to by going out to certain people, certain groups, certain bodies of people, and giving. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's time, if it's energy, if it's money, not necessarily money, but in exchange of money, trades of money that have the ability to do good and be able to give certain presents, gifts, and do it on a random basis, do it on a consistent basis, do it on a more or less consistent ongoing basis, so that in essence our social media focuses on changing for games and changing for philanthropy, and having a game network, a game society, a game functional social media process and network, which all completely revolves around games. There was an old video game on Facebook before called Better World, and they had like 50 some million positive actions happening on that process, on that platform. And at the same time, there's another good news network out of Santa Barbara, that is California, that is a good resource also that we're trying to leverage, and also become similar to a combination of both of those things basically. But we're causing the news, we're trying to cause the news and have everybody be able to cause the news, and that in essence is like kicking the soccer ball all around the world. We're all metaphorically kicking this metaphorical soccer ball energy all around the world. And the soccer ball, as you see, everybody in the world should also take soccer balls outside. Everybody in the world should also begin to take soccer balls outside and start to carry them around all over the streets. We want to start to make a Digitech and a Digitech soccer ball sometime soon as well, to be able to release that outside as well. And it'd be ideal to see a bunch of Digitech soccer balls outside on the street as well. That'd be super sweet. Digitech and Change for Game Studios. Digitech Change for Games is actually kind of the modified name, because it's an action call for Digitech the mascot to be able to change for games directly in a little magical witchcraft sense. It's obviously a bat dog, so he needs a little witchcraft energy to be able to try to make those changes for games in the world. And he's trying to do this with the things such as a recumbent bicycle, which is in essence kind of like one of our first emphasized significant products, trying to get that out so soon, trying to get it out as soon as possible to be able to leverage this as a film vehicle for our video games, because we're trying to change fundamentally the film industry for the better, changing the fundamental film industry for the better, meaning we're transitioning, trying to change it all from Hollywood into this new global giving process, more or less, of a giving games process known as Change for Games and Games for Change, and Digitech and Change for Games Studios. Yeah. So, as we metaphorically kick the soccer ball around the world, we also are trying to reformat and reconfigure content a little bit that we're trying to do for the brand in a video sense, where we're trying to do a little bit more like behind the scenes and a little bit more motion and such things, but at the same time we're trying to maybe conceptualize developing a podcast that's more so recorded in like a recording sense, like where it's combined with music in the future. But it might not actually work because there's so much talking, typically speaking, in the time that's allotted, that it would just extend the time, and so we might have to just separate those two things or keep them separate, whatever the vlog is and this thing. But at the same time, I was curious if we could maybe just live stream also doing this podcast at the same time, but I don't even think that's possible. I could try to swing open the camera right now, but I don't think it would work. I could try, but it might be a little distracting right now. I'll have to try that experiment a little bit later. Nonetheless, we want to try to end this now because we're should just be trying to focus on trying to express that we're now trying to express our film vehicle as a film vehicle, so we can start to all play the video games, and we're all getting together and making the new film industry by edutainment, not entertainment, as the new film industry, streaming away from Hollywood, where we all can have the ability to understand everybody's giving games, everybody's society TV can cross over and cross hatch, so everybody can understand every country's culture's TV by this global video game process. We're all able to play the same video game process, and we're all able to play the same video game, giving games, and it also develops personal brands. It helps develop out personal brands for people that in essence are trying to leverage the entrepreneurship side of themselves, and regardless of whether they want to leverage the entrepreneurship side of themselves or not, it exemplifies the entrepreneurship side of themselves by exemplifying giving. So at the same time, it can exemplify a personal brand. At the same time, it can exemplify someone who has a job to be able to maybe be seen at a higher stature in their job. So it just boosts overall social credibility, and it also boosts overall global impact and a positive impact. And this is sort of the nature of our future hopeful process for kicking the soccer ball around and leveraging the essence of the nature of the game of soccer for the whole world to be able to leverage and symbolically start to kick around this energy, so that we start to spool up this energy and similarly spool up the energy like a turbo in all of our vehicles as people as vehicles, in essence, to be able to collectively work together like a consistent engine all around the world, to be able to look out for all of us as people, all 8 billion people, looking out for all 8 billion people in the whole world by leveraging this concept and this conceptualization all in our mindsets together, and also at the same time going outside, actually physically starting to go outside with soccer balls as a consistent new flash mob symbology, more or less, for all people in humanity to be able to start to understand and get a sense of and get a figment of the mindset for collectively having humanity's best interests in mind at all given times by consistently having soccer balls outside at all given times in the most significant often as possible times, more or less as a symbol for this symbol of energy for global giving, a global giving network that is symbolized and characterized by the soccer ball, by this soccer ball aspect, and by all balls, by significantly more or less all and many other sports balls as well, painted with some focused, dinky tech kind of flag or whatever energy flag that continues to symbolize and exemplify the interest for these symbols for vehicles, all vehicles, and all balls, sports balls, but more so specifically in this episode, we're talking about our film vehicle, our little recumbent bicycle alpine slide, known as a spreadboard. Basically, vehicle which is also characterized and known as today being established as a film vehicle specifically for video games, where we're able to send around this global energy around the world, and at the same time soccer balls being carried all around the world to then also symbolize whatever transportation that you're taking. If you're taking a train and you're holding a soccer ball, if you're taking a car, you're holding a soccer ball, if you're riding on somebody else's vehicle, or taking a ride share, that you're carrying the soccer ball to basically remind the driver of that ride share vehicle, or remind people in the bus, or remind people in the subway, or remind people in any given vehicle that you're in, including a plane, that you in essence are playing the global significantly giving games, and you stand for the global giving games, and you appreciate the global giving games and the global giving mindset, and everybody in the world can continue to pass around this global conceptual, metaphorical soccer ball energy all around the world, because people, when you take a soccer ball outside, they tend to light up, and they almost feel that it almost exemplifies an essence and an element of a lack of a soccer ball in their life, which is in essence what we're trying to draw upon, what we're trying to speak upon what we're trying to exemplify, what we're trying to highlight in essence in this episode, and going forward more so as we frame our little recumbent bicycle alpine slide known as a spreadboard vehicle as a film vehicle in this episode today, so that everybody going forward is able to consistently leverage the essence and the interest for media to be able to combine with games, and the essence of games to be able to merge with soccer, and then therefore to be able to continue for us all to be able to contribute to the global philanthropy energy grid, where we're all able to connect all human beings to the global philanthropy energy grid by electricity that has to do with global philanthropy energy, that is electricity, that is colored electricity, that connects all human beings by this essence of games, and this essence of change, and this essence of changing for games, and the essence of Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Thanks again for now. Bye, Dinky Tech, bye. And Dinky Tech, Change for Games. Peace, bye.